Okay, so now I've put the sand that we're going to lay the slabs on. This is normal builder's sand, which in this part of the world is silver. It can be different colours from all over the place. Don't be put off by that. When you order sand, it will be the colour that's local to your area. But it's normal builder's sand. And put a nice big pile in the middle. I just need to spread it around, and then we're going to have a look at a little technique as to how to just check that it's spread out evenly. So we'll just get it across, and we're not after a really deep spreading of it. It's enough to bed the slabs onto so that we can get them sitting evenly. And again, in a minute we're going to use the rake. Like so. Now we've got a bit of a mound in the middle, but that doesn't matter because we're going to, if we've got a bit of spare, we'll take it away. And I'd rather have a bit of spare here at the moment than be without. And I come back to using this just to get it out. And I can sort of, as I run this over, I can feel through the tines of the rake if it's a bit thin in places. So when you get there, you can just hear it. So it's a useful little tip. And there are a number of rakes like this available, including some really good plastic ones that have a yellow head to them. They're quite often called landscape rakes, and they're very good for spreading over wide areas. In fact, probably a bit better than this one, and getting things nice and level. That's about how I want it for the minute, and I've got a bit of off-cut timber just over here. There's a bit of leftover from something else, and it allows me just to put it over and sort of see that I've got around about the right height to work with, and I can sort of put that in several positions, know where I'm a bit low, maybe just down there, run it over here where I've got too much, and that allows me to just do a bit more work on leveling it out, because obviously we're intending for the slabs actually to finish at the height underneath this piece of wood, level with this piece of timber. So you can already see that there's a little bit more work to be done about the levelling there. So this is the lovely bit. This is where all the hard work pays off. We've got a nice bed, we get to lay some slabs down and see our finished efforts. I'm going to start in this corner with a larger piece. Now with the modular stones, you need to just think a little bit about how you're going to lay them out, because they have to make up finished sizes. Mark out an area this size, lay the slabs down over on the grass, get them in the order that you want them, and then you know that you're not going to go wrong. It's a simple case of transferring them over. So we've got this lovely bed of ground. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to start in this corner, work this way, and then out that way. And I'm going to take a larger one to begin with, because I just fancy a larger one there. It's a random patio, so the approach is to be random. Now obviously be careful of your back when you're doing things like this. If you've got any issues, get some help. And I'm going to lay it over here. And I have to take into account that I'm working with kind of a natural edge here, and that the area is not quite square. But that's okay. You know, this is how things are. And then the side here is going to be filled up with a little bit of sand, so we're allowing to work around this metal boot scraper and such like. So I've laid this stone down, and then the simplest way of all, we know that this is a height that we want to work from. and we know that our bit of timber down there is a height that we want to work to. So we take our board like so, we lay it across, and we see how we're going. And we can already see, just looking down here, that we're not quite high enough. So if we carried on at that angle, we'd come out far too low down there. So the simplest option here, to lift that out the way, and we want to bring a little bit more sand in evenly across the base, like so. Now you're looking to avoid rocking, so you can work it like so. And we're much closer to it there. Now there's also, you've got to factor in that these are cast to have a natural finish to them. So there are going to be a few depressions in it. So I don't think we need to worry about a couple of millimetres of variation, because you'll never get them exactly right. That's the very nature of these stones. So I'm happy with that one. I'll leave that piece of timber there, and we're going to come across, and I think we're going to go that way with pieces that are the same width. So what we might do now is bring these ones in. And I'm simply laying it as close as I can, like that, letting it bed down, and again bringing my piece of timber over. Now this stone dips down ever so slightly here, so I just need to be aware of that. But that's pretty good. I don't need to do much more to that. I've got to slide it this way slightly to get it to line up there. But we're looking good. So we're going out 900 this way with another narrow piece there. So I'm going to put this piece. Now I can see we're a bit high here, we're a bit low there. I can move the sand around a little with my hand. Just kind of get it how I think I want it. It's important, really take time doing this. And because you're not working with concrete or anything like that, you don't have to worry about things setting. You can even go and have lunch halfway through the middle. So you can see we're a bit higher than we want to be. So that one needs to just be pulled away. You might just do that and just take a little bit off, like so. I can feel there's no movement in that. There, much better. And really, it's a case of doing that procedure all the way through until you get to the end. Now, with an area this size, the stones mean that we're probably going to, I mean, this is quite often the case with a patio. If you buy a kit and you know you want to make a square of a certain size, that's fine. So you simply peg out and prepare the area that's the exact size of the kit that you've bought. And you don't have to think about cutting or anything like that. I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of cutting and trimming to get around things like the stone in the corner and to make everything just marry up in exactly the position I want. That's something that can be easily done either using a slab cutting tool or an angle grinder. But there may be things that you don't yourself want to get involved with. So if that's the case, I would advise you just stick to the right kit size that's easily laid and work things out accordingly.